Hi, I'm Steve Lentini, and I'm your host for the podcast Different Thinking for Different Times. Season 5, Episode 7. I like to start each episode with some quotes. Here's a few that I find inspiring for me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. James Dillard Freeman said that. I should find out when, since I wrote the book Sage Advice, but here's another one. I think this is attributed to my coach, Tony Stone, who passed away, it'll be 3 years ago in August. Deeply conditioned habits of mind breed our most powerful conflicts. Let me read that again so you ponder it. Deeply conditioned habits of mind breed our most powerful conflicts, which is so apropos for the podcast because I'm talking about different thinking for different times and how it's something we need to do today. Thinking differently to expand beyond and above small-minded thinking, which we see so much evidence of. Well, let me give you a few other quotes. Death is no more than passing from one room into another. But there's a difference for me, because in that other room I shall be able to see, and that was Helen Keller. You got to love it, right? She knew death is no more than passing from one room to another. And that's what I experienced on November 18th, 2002. Ernest Holmes said, "The thought of judgment, criticism, and condemnation must, in time, operate against the one who sets it into motion." We don't have to look far today to see judgment, condemnation, criticism. It doesn't matter what side of an issue you're on. Small-minded thinking is so prevalent in our society today, and we're breaking everything down by race instead of talking about the human race. And yeah, there are challenges depending on what race you were born into, but I was born into an Italian-American family with 7 children and parents who struggled. My father worked 2 and sometimes 3 jobs. My mother went to work at age 50. There are very few of us who have millionaires and billionaires for parents. Everyone has a challenge. Otherwise, we wouldn't know we were alive. Now, Michael Newton, in his book, The Journey of Souls, talks about how he hypnotized people and started discovering that they were sharing experiences during past life regressions that talked of a life beyond here. He realized they were talking about their experience after their body had died. And what if the path all of us are on is the path for our growth? I don't know if it's true or not, but what if you chose it? What if you're supposed to learn persistence, persisting through the doubt, rising up against challenge, overcoming your fear, having courage, speaking up, making a difference in this world? That might be the reason you were born into the family you were born into. Which, if you listen to his book or you read the book, The Journey of Souls, you'll find that that's what he discovered, is that the souls were actually guided into their next life, choosing their parents with reasons for what they'd learn and what that would teach them. And then there was a review later with their guides of how well they did. in that life. Even Albie agrees. So if you ponder the idea a minute that in a universe that you're not the deciding factor for everything, that there's a superior reasoning power, as Einstein described, that created this unimaginable universe. What if it's your hubris and ego that has you making others wrong for whatever reason? The color of their skin, their job, what they've learned, how much money they have, whether they're poor or rich, their political point of view. I mean, we find so many reasons to make others wrong today. We've lost the idea of infinite thinking, thinking like what created a universe. And what if you discovered when you leave your body, you were where you were supposed to be? I don't know. I didn't experience that. What I did experience is there was no condemnation. There was no mention of sin. Only the lives I had touched flashed before me. All the good I had done. Religion is good. Faith is good. Fear is not. So most religion has people believing and following a certain leader or leaders or a pope or a rabbi, and a lot of it is done out of fear, or an imam. It doesn't matter the religion, but if you think about it, even political leaders use fear, constantly scaring the populace with all kinds of things that you may not finish today. You might not finish this recording. I wish you a long life, but I think we should all get a peek at what's next because we wouldn't be so petty. I don't know why I was gifted with another chance at life and why I got a glimpse at the other side. I'm grateful that I did. I've said before, even getting in the ambulance, 1 second I was fine, doing a seminar, teaching my clients, training my clients, doing my work. The next second I needed an ambulance. Never any symptoms, but gratitude overwhelmed me. It's like I had a knowing there was a big gift coming in that experience, and that's exactly what happened. Not exactly wrapped as a gift as I would have preferred. Just ponder where you're small minded, where you're judging others, especially if you're spending time on social media railing against others. Who cares? Do you think for a moment that you'll change anyone's mind? And besides, their journey is none of your business. Your journey is your business. My journey is none of your business. And when you think of whatever political persuasion people are, or whatever religion they are, or whatever race they are, why would you want to lump them into things and accuse them of being a racist? And by the way, there isn't a race that's not racist or doesn't have racist people. Now, people have talked about reparations for slavery. I agree with that. I think that we should trace it back. Those people that are in the records, that their family members were enslaved, yes, I think that we should make reparations, as long as we tie it back to who owned them and who sold them into slavery. There's a whole chain of accountability and responsibility. Now, my father was born on the way here from Sicily. In Sicily, I don't know, the family was poor. Maybe in history they were slaves at some point in time. I don't think there's a discussion of reparations for Sicilians. But I do agree. I do agree. Let's hold the people accountable that were involved. And I think they should be made to pay, but not all taxpayers, not all people, because not all people were responsible for slavery. We have to begin thinking broader instead of painting everyone with a broad brush. We have to think broader than that broad brush that we paint one group or another group or whole groups of people. And until we do, until we can come up with different thinking for different times, we'll believe we're right because we're egoic and filled with hubris. Anything that has someone holding fear over you, wanting to make you afraid of anything, is to be questioned. It's not to blindly follow anyone or anything or any idea. We have to challenge that kind of thinking, especially in this country. I think that we're getting heated into making one group right or the other group wrong, whether it's political or racial or even by sex. When we leave our bodies, there are no races, there are no sexes, there are no countries, there are no nationalities. We have to get over ourselves. But you have no choice when you don't have a body. Because that small minded thinker, at least me, it didn't follow me. I was free from that, but I was a drop of water, like a drop of water in the ocean. I was a drop in the infinite. I was in the infinite. Absolutely amazing. Way beyond anything your acorn brain can perceive of, especially if you're thinking that those who don't agree with you will burn in hell forever. That is small minded. If it sounds small minded at all, it doesn't even begin to mirror the infinite. What created a universe that, even with all the super colliders and all the experiments available today, physicists still haven't figured out who or what made the universe. And when they do, you can just blow their mind by saying, well, what made that? They'd have to start again. I urge each of you listening to begin questioning your own small minded thinking. That's how we'll change. Have a dialogue with people. When you catch yourself making whole groups of people wrong for whatever reason, stop and ask yourself, are they on a journey that was preordained by the infinite, by a system that's so much bigger than ours, by a brain, a thought process, whatever it is? It was certainly bigger than mine. And think about leaving everything and everyone a little better than you find them in every moment. That if it reaches you, as Muhammad said, it's meant for you. Pick the trash up on the sidewalk. Don't complain about it. Give the guy a couple of bucks that asks you for money. Give someone gas that comes to you with a story in the rest area. Maybe that's the universe, the creator, challenging you because you prearranged it with your guides. It was prearranged to see if you would pass the test on this journey, the test of life. I don't know for sure the answer to that, but it seems logical. Can you imagine if you were a racist and came back as the race that you were railing against, that you held angrily in your consciousness, that you discriminated against, so that you could experience that? If you came back to experience, if you were an abuser, what it was like to be abused, so you would develop empathy and compassion and experience, like the person that you abused, what that would be like. And maybe it's the same for people who kill others. Maybe they come back and get killed. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But in a universe that we can't figure out, there's lots of possibilities. There's infinite possibilities. And quite possibly, we're on the path we're supposed to be on. And how often do we fail the test? I know I have over my life, but now I look at things as reaching me, is meant for me. And that, as Christ said, everything works together for good. Then what's happening right now is urging us. All this diatribe against one another is urging us to have a dialogue and to become more accepting, not tolerant, more accepting. Embrace everyone's differences. Imagine if we all thought alike, looked alike. What would life be like? Embrace the differences. Embrace what reaches you as sent by the infinite to teach you that you're supposed to address it, not rail against it. If someone comes to you for help, help them. Remember, the good I did was etched onto the fabric of time. How do you feel when you do good? There was no sin. That could be a human construct to keep people in fear instead of living, afraid to live their life, afraid of making a mistake, afraid of sinning. What if you're supposed to live? You're supposed to make mistakes so that you can learn and grow. Now, some people have no regrets. Okay, I don't know what their journey will be like next time around. I have lessons, and I've learned to overcome my regrets and become grateful for the mistakes because they taught me great things that now I carry forward that I did not know until I made the mistake. That could be your journey. It might be all our journeys. And remember, if it sounds small-minded, it's not matching or mirroring what created an infinite universe, an amazing miracle that we live in. That's my job today, reminding everyone, think bigger, think broader, be more accepting, let go of judgment. Remind everyone they live in a miracle and give them a few extra bucks. Or pick up the trash or help someone that you see is in distress. Or maybe they just need someone to talk to them. If you see someone upset? Maybe that conversation, are you okay? Is there anything I can do for you? Maybe that'll make a difference. How do you feel when you do good? Think about why. All right, if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, I'm glad to have you. You can email me, steve@stevelentini.com, steve@stevelentini.com. And remember, you can come challenge me. I don't mind. I might just ask you, does that sound like small-minded thinking? Thanks.